Mahmoud Khalil had a court hearing today, and his lawyers gave a statement outside of the court. They were essentially saying how shocking it was for him to be in this situation, and also alleging that his free speech right has been impugned. This whole case started because Khalil was one of the principal actors in the student protest that took place on Columbia University campus. As a result of that, the Secretary of State Marco Rubio has deemed him to be a supporter of a terrorist group, and Khalil subsequently has been put in jail and under the threat of his green card being taken away. So for those who may not be aware, getting a green card is very, very difficult, and is supposed to be almost as if, not quite, but almost as if you are a citizen in the protections that you have. One of those protections would be the right to free speech under the First Amendment. How this is going to play out is not exactly clear, and even a judge is asking for more time for this to be considered, specifically whether it is unconstitutional for Khalil to be held in prison in the first case. And effectively, that's what this case boils down to. Number one, is there enough proof to say that he is an actual terrorist supporter? Has he done anything which would justify him being classified as such? If that is the case, then under the Immigration Act, he can be removed under those conditions if he is deemed to be largely or at the disadvantage, or would negatively impact the foreign policy of the United States. If that is not the case, then obviously he would have to be let go, because he would typically have free speech protections, assuming that he has not done anything which is considered illegal or considered, again, contrary to the foreign policy of the country. It's also interesting to note that he has been moved around from apparently a holding facility in New York to one in a completely different state. His wife is certainly perturbed by what has occurred, so much so that even during the press conference that took place outside of court, she would not release her name publicly. So I think it's a very novel case. It is something that is going to be remembered for the fact that it could even set a precedent, and that's what makes it interesting legally.